Hey guys, this video will be on managing your Delphi project files in File Explorer. Many learners struggle with managing their project files. By the end of this video, you will have an understanding of how the Delphi project files are created, how to properly name your Delphi project files, how to share your projects with others, and some other tips and tricks in File Explorer. The techniques discussed will apply to all versions of Windows, including Windows 7, 8, 10, and 11. If you do not understand some of the topics that will be discussed, please be patient. I will be explaining them as the video goes on. First, we will look at some common bad practices for Delphi project files, and we will discuss solutions and alternatives. Bad practices that I commonly see: number one, improper naming of project files. I'm going to open my File Explorer quickly. This folder is an example of what your project files may look like. These include multiple projects, unit files, form files, source files, all kinds of files. This is an example of improper naming conventions. You can see we have project 1, project 2, project 3, project 4. These projects just have a default name. They weren't even given a name. This is bad because we don't know what each project does. I don't know what project 1 is. I don't know what project 3 does. I'm going to get confused between my projects. If I want to find a specific project, I'm not going to know which one does what. Also have this one called random project name. I don't know what that is. I don't know what this unit belongs to. I have no idea. I'm just going to open project 1. I had a project open. I'm going to close it. I'm just going to open project 1 in Delphi and let me see what this does. It looks like a basic calculator app. Now, instead of naming this just project 1 and the units unit 1, I'm going to go to File, Save As, and I'm going to call this calculator app _u, because this is my calculator app project. This is the name I chose to give it, and the _u, this is a suffix to just specify that this is a unit file. It's not a project file, this is a unit file. I'm going to save it. I'm going to go back to File and save Project As. Now I'm going to save a project file. I'm going to give it the same prefix, so it's going to be calculator app _p this time. So it belongs to the calculator app as well, but it's _p to indicate that this is a project file. This is not a unit file. I'm going to go and save. If we go back to this folder of clutter projects and we sort alphabetically, so just click on name in your File Explorer, we will see all of the calculator app project files are together now. So instead of project 1 here and then unit 1 at the bottom somewhere, which is very disorganized, we can just have all of them together, and we know these are some project files and these are some unit files. This will make it easier to find a project, to know what the project does because it's named correctly, and we know this is the project file, this is the Delphi icon, so whenever I share this project with someone, that person will know I have to open this project file. Solutions. Project file name should be descriptive, meaning they should tell you what the project is about, what it does. We did that. We changed project 1 to calculator app. And then also, project and unit files should be named similarly with a common prefix as an example to allow you to know which files are related to each other. Because this calculator app is a common prefix between the project and unit files, we know that these project files and these unit files are related to each other. If I have a random project name, like this project is called a random project name, and the units are called whatever this is, I'm not going to know that these units are related to this project. And if I want to share this project with someone, because I have to include all of the project files and all of the unit files for this project, I'm going to have an issue finding all the files. Because I have a common prefix, I know these are all the files. I can easily share this project with someone else. I'm going to give you another example. I'm going to go, this is my IT pad project. All of the project files inside of this folder start with a prefix of pad. So everything that starts with pad I know is related to my pad project. The second bad practice that I commonly see is projects not being in a dedicated folder. Saving multiple projects in the same folder can make it cluttered, which will make it difficult to find all the files related to a specific project. This is an example of a slightly cluttered projects folder. So it includes a bunch of projects. It's cluttered, project one, it's all confusing. It's hard to find a specific project. If I want to find just my calculator app project and I want that to be in a dedicated folder, that's very easy. I'm gonna go file new, I'm gonna make a folder. I'm gonna call this calculator app. And now I can find all of the project files, which I can find easily because they have a common prefix. And I can just throw them into the calculator app folder. Just drag and drop. Now all of them are here. So if I want to share my calculator app project with someone, all I have to do is right click on this calculator app file folder, send to and compress zip folder. This may look slightly different on Windows 11, but the idea is you have to go to send to and make it a compressed zipped folder. Now if I have a zip folder, you can just open it to test. All of the project files are here. If I send this to someone, they can open it easily. All of the files are there. Project 1, for example, if I want to include project 1 in a dedicated folder, I'm just going to call this project 1. This is a bad idea to keep it as project 1, but I'm going to give it as an example as to why you're not supposed to keep your file names as the default, like project 1 and project 2. So I'm going to select these files that include project 1, and I have to find the unit files. I know these are called unit 1. All of these are now in a dedicated project folder. This should work, this project. We name it with a common prefix because, again, I'm going to repeat this. This project, I don't know what the unit names are for this project, or these unit. I don't know what the project files for this unit files are. So I don't know how to put these in a dedicated project folder or how to share this with someone. That should explain the topic of dedicated project folders. I'm just going to go back to my IT pad. My IT pad is in my IT pad dedicated folder, and I have all my project files along with my debug info there as well. I created in my projects directory another folder called Delphi projects with a bunch of folders with these are all dedicated project folders. So each folder here has its own project. I'm quickly going to discuss the default project directory. You can find this in Documents, Embarcadero, Studio, and Projects. This will be where all of your Delphi project files will be initially or by default saved when you create it. So at the moment I have these project files. If I go in Delphi and make a new Windows VCL application, I'm going to save this. I'm going to call this new unit. Just save and new project and just save that. then my new project and my new unit files can be found inside of my projects folder. Yours may be very cluttered, may look something like this. Ideally, you want to keep this projects folder as empty as possible. So whenever I'm gonna delete everything right now. I'm gonna make a new application again, and I'm just gonna save this with default names. You're supposed to give this a proper name. I'm just gonna make it quickly. I'm gonna give it this name real quick. I'm gonna delete these two files. Ideally, at the point of creation, as soon as you create this new project, you want to make a new folder, put all of the files inside of this folder, and then you can sort this dedicated project folder inside of your other folders as you want to. This will just make it's going to encapsulate all of the project files inside of this one folder. It's going to make it easy to find it. It's going to make it easy to share. I'm going to delete this because the naming conventions are wrong. This folder is an example of multiple projects. They are not in dedicated project folders, but because they include a common prefix like iTest and GameTest, just as an example, it's easy to find all of the project files related to each project. This is another example. My Tetris project, all of the project files are in a dedicated folder. Yeah, that's the solution, creating a new folder dedicated to some project files for a single project. Just as another explanation, this is unrelated. You don't have to do anything with this, but your Win32 folder that you might have, this folder is created by Delphi when you run a project, and it stores the executable files. So in Win32 and debug, it's gonna include all the executable files for projects that I run inside of this directory. If I have a dedicated projects folder, you see we don't have a Win32 or a debug folder right now. But what I'm gonna do is just gonna close everything first. I'm gonna open this project in Delphi. As soon as I run this project, I can just close it immediately. It's gonna inside of this folder. It's gonna create Win32 and debug. And this project 1, this is the executable file that I can run to open my program. Okay, we discussed some common bad practices. We discussed the solutions. Project file name should be descriptive, meaning they should tell you what the project is about or what it does. And project and unit file should be named similarly with a common prefix, as an example, to allow you to know which files are related to each other. And number 2, projects not being in a dedicated folder, and the solution to that is creating a new dedicated folder. We also discussed what the default directory for all of your new Delphi project files is, and how to rename those, give them proper names, and then how to put them in a dedicated project folder.